Hey guys, I was flipping through Instagram and I realized that a lot of us can experience the same things, but our journeys turn out to be different depending on our circumstances as well as what we choose to do. So I thought I would take this time to tell you a little bit about my driving story. For those of you that don't know, I have a condition called cerebral palsy. It's a muscle and movement disorder that I was born with. It's an umbrella term for many different things that have to do with your muscles and your movement, but basically people are affected in different ways, and it stems from your brain being able to communicate with the rest of your body and processing things taking a little bit longer than other people. It definitely does not mean we are incapable. Sometimes it just means that we need a little bit extra time or finding different ways to deal with certain situations. That being said, some people with CP never drive. Some people like myself try to drive and then realize that it is not the best option to, and then other people with my condition are able to drive. My driving journey, like many of my other personal journeys, started when I was 16 with a feeling of I have to prove to myself and the rest of the world that I can do something just so that I can be seen as capable. And I can take care of myself. I kind of have to take care of myself because with a disability, it's usually you against the world, or at least it feels that way. I started off with a few years of constant testing and proving to my driving instructor that I felt like I could do things that he possibly needed more reassurance on. After going through all of that testing, I finally got the clearance from my driving instructor to at least try the practice hours that everybody does with their parents. So in order to do that, I first needed to get cleared by the medical advisory board to get my learner's permit. I also needed to work with my instructor on what specific equipment I needed to operate a car, and then go to the written portion of the driver's ed class. That whole journey took about a year. And then after everything was approved, I had a couple of months I could drive with my parents on and off. During that time, I was having struggles here and there, but I was feeling fairly confident. After a few months, I had a derotation osteotomy of 4 of my leg bones. So I was out of driving for a year and a half. After I healed, I went back to my instructor to start the process again. And spending more time with him and my parents than I did in the past made me realize that driving may not be what is right for me. One of the main indicators was safety. With more and more practice came the realization that I wasn't moving over in lanes fast enough, and that was possibly from my processing disorder. I was never hit by anybody and I never hit anyone, but there could have been a possibility that it would eventually happen. And I wasn't willing to take the stress of anxiety related to driving anymore when I had that kind of hanging over my head. All of this to say, society may have these built-in expectations and experiences for everyone to have, but it does not make you less than with whatever path you choose, whether that be driving, not driving, or trying to drive. I feel like the realization of not being less than starts with society. We need to work together on other options to accomplish certain goals, even if they look a little bit different, because we all are deserving of living fulfilling lives, no matter what our path looks like.